Good morning. My name is Maureen Chung. Welcome to Daily Devotional, February the 8th. The passage is John chapter 21, verse 15 to 24. The title is Follow Jesus by Living and Dying. When they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," he said. "You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." And Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." The third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." I tell you the truth, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter would glorify God. Then he said to him, "Follow me." Peter turned around and saw that the disciple whom Jesus loved was following them. This was the one who leaned back against Jesus at the supper and said, "Lord, who is going to betray you?" When Peter saw him, he asked, "Lord, what about him?" Jesus answered, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me." Because of this, the rumor spread amongst the brothers that the disciple would not die. But Jesus did not say that he would not die. He only said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you?" This is the disciple who testifies to these things and who wrote them down. We know that his testimony is true. When Jesus first called his disciples, he said, "Follow me." A bit later into his ministry, he invited them to deny themselves and take up their own cross and follow him. Now at the end of his earthly ministry, as he was to ascend into heaven, he singled out Peter, who had denied him 3 times before the crucifixion, to follow him. This is without doubt about Peter's death by the literal cross by which he would glorify God. The call to discipleship has morphed into a call to martyrdom. Strangely, on the night when Jesus was betrayed, Peter and John lovingly followed Jesus into the high priest's house to wait for the decision from Jesus' trial. Peter's love for Jesus was strong enough to allow him to take the risk of being found out and arrested too. But when confronted by nameless maid servants and low-ranking guards, Peter panicked and denied Jesus 3 times that night. Perhaps he recalled Jesus' comments about taking up the cross and following him. "If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels." It was recorded in Mark chapter 8, verse 38. Moreover, as soon as Peter had denied Jesus 3 times, the rooster crowed. The Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word the Lord had spoken to him. "Before the rooster crows today, you will disown me 3 times. The Lord's piercing eyes and hurting expression broke Peter's heart. and he went out and wept bitterly. He claimed to love the Lord more than the other disciples do. Even if he had to die with Christ, he would never disown him. But when the crunch came, he could not deliver. He loved the Lord, but not as much as he thought he did. Even so, after Jesus' resurrection, he tried to restore Peter with his forgiving recommissioning. It was a penetrating question. "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than these?" he asked 3 times. I suppose that one cannot serve him to the point of death without truly loving him. For the welfare of the sheep, that is the people, entrusted to the disciples' care, the disciple follower of Jesus may lose his life. He who is a friend of Jesus cannot be a friend of the world's adulterous and sinful generation. When one's loyalty is being tested, the choice has to be Jesus. Jesus forewarned free-spirited Peter about his loss of freedom later in life. The gospel writer John interprets for us that Peter was to die on the cross. He would die like Jesus did. Then Jesus said to Peter, "Follow me." This is plainly the call to martyrdom to glorify God. But not all disciples die as martyrs. John was to be different. Nosy Peter turned and saw John and asked Jesus, "Lord, what about him?" John's path would be different because Jesus might want him to remain alive until his return. How another person follows Jesus is another person's business. Each disciple can only care about how he or she is following Jesus. "What's that to you? You must follow me," Jesus bluntly replied. John, the gospel writer, did live to an old age and died of a natural death. He wrote the Gospel of John, the 3 epistles of John to the churches, and Revelation, which is about the second coming of the Lord. Indeed, he lived till his return, albeit in John's own vision. Following Jesus requires loving him. By living or dying, we follow him to the very end. With passion we serve his church, redeemed by his precious blood. He loves his chosen ones, his children, and his disciples love them too. Without genuine agape love, the sacrificial love of God, we cannot sincerely serve his church. We serve because we love God and everything that is his. For God and them, we're willing to give up our lives. The call to discipleship is a call to live and die for him. He requires our all. I'm ready to give my all. May Christ my Lord help me to be faithful to the very end. To him be glory, honor, and praise, now and forevermore. Amen. May God bless you. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you.